All right, Shalom. First, I can start by saying our praise to Yahweh by Shema Shai, by Shema Kakadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of who will, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. I'm gonna bear with me. All right, Salakia.
This used to be a bustling neighborhood in a Shati refugee camp west of Gaza City. Now this site has turned into a pile of ashes, debris and destroyed houses that have been heavily impacted from a series of airstrikes that were conducted overnight by the Israeli military. Residents at this site told us that they have received a phone call from an Israeli intelligence officer ordering people to leave the area before attacking this neighborhood. This rarely happens, in fact, and people have been given a very short window of time to evacuate this site. As you can see, this area has inflicted severe damage as families are trying to clean the debris from inside their damaged buildings, and people do not think that this site could be one being targeted, given its far location from the yellow demarcation line and its current classification to be a green safe zone. But the situation is simply apocalyptic. People are trying to extract remnants of their clothing, their furniture, and anything that can help them to survive. But we also can see that 10 houses have been heavily impacted due to the airstrikes that have been conducted by Israeli air forces, and it comes as a clear pattern adopted by the Israeli military to exercise pressure on Palestinians as diplomatic talks are still unfolding in the Egyptian metropolis. People say that there might be not much avenue, in fact, for diplomacy in Israel, given that it's very difficult to expect meaningful concessions for diplomacy amidst the election year, and Israel is still pushing for hardline demands to mediators who have been doubling down their efforts in order to bridge the considerable differences in key issues that can really hamper the movement and the transition to phase 2 of the agreement and to ensure the sustainability of the deal. But this reality gives a clear reflection to people on the ground that Israel will continue to rely on a strategic military approach that can achieve its military and political interests, as people on the ground are still waiting for a change to take place amid a tenuous ceasefire and amid growing diplomatic promises that have been delivered by regional countries and by key actors who have been trying to contain the escalation between both sides and to start at least the reconstruction process that has been basically linked to the demilitarization file. And till now, people are still living under the threat of airstrikes, under the shadow of instability, as uncertainty continues to grow more day in, day out, and the misery seems far from ending on the ground.
Right. So, this is where the Gaza Strip is. This is the area of land that was just struck. This is the area of land that they're fighting over. Gaza City, let me see. Gaza Strip. I'm looking to all of them. The Gaza Strip, also known simply as Gaza, is the smaller of the two Palestinian territories, the other being the West Bank. Let's see what the West Bank is. Okay, this is where the West Bank is. Much bigger area of land. The West Bank is the larger of the two Palestinian territories, the other being the Gaza Strip, which is that area section right there, that make up Palestine, a landlocked territory located on the western bank of the Jordan River near the coast of the Mediterranean Sea in West Asia's Levant region. It is bordered by Jordan and the Dead Sea to the east by Israel. Slakia. Let me read that again. A landlocked territory located on the western bank of the Jordan River near the coast of the Mediterranean Sea in West Asia's Levant region. It is bordered by Jordan and the Dead Sea to the east, and by Israel via the Green Line to the south, west, and north. Since 1967, the territory has been under Israeli occupation, which is illegal under international law. And that's our land that they're fighting over. Let me get it. Zechariah 9:6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Esau is that bastard dwelling in Ashdod, but you got them Arabs over there as well. Them Ishmaelites. That whole land is our land. All right, just back to the Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip, which you see is in red right there. Both of those are known as Palestine. The Palestinians are the so-called Arabs. But you got Ephraimites over there as well. You know, and you got a mix of our nation over there, but predominantly Ephraim. If I'm not mistaken, there was an article, and I think I hit the article of where it said that they were over there. But Esau because we're in the information war, so we don't give a fuck if y'all believe us or not. A lot of you people are late to the party, so to speak. They've been pushing out misinformation, disinformation. They've been taking things down and it's making things hard to find. Articles, documents, and things like that. Break down the words and things like that. So you gotta get it while you can. But anyway, the Gaza Strip, also known simply as Gaza, is the smaller of the two Palestinian territories, the other being the West Bank, that make up the state of Palestine in the southern Levant region of West Asia. Gaza is bordered by Egypt on the southwest, Israel on the east and north, and the Mediterranean Sea to the west. Its capital and largest city is Gaza City. It says status: Israeli occupied territory of Palestine under the temporary mandate of the NCAG per UNSC Resolution 2803. Israel currently controls 53% of the Gaza Strip under the Gaza Peace Plan, with the rest de facto controlled by Hamas. Ethnic groups: Palestinian Arabs, Ishmaelites. Religion: Sunni Islam and 1% Christianity. Those religions and those people are not supposed to be in that land. There's examples where Esau was put in that land and the Lord's had lions sent amongst them, and the Levites had to go teach them the laws so that they can dwell in the land. Okay, so the territorial boundaries were established by the Green Line of the 1949 armistice agreements at the conclusion of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, at which time Gaza was controlled by the Kingdom of Egypt. It says during the period, the All-Palestinian Protectorate, also known as All Palestine, was established with limited recognition, and it became a refuge for Palestinians who fled or were expelled during the 1948 Palestine War. Right. So this is already getting good as to why they beefing, and it's good to know this history, because it's going to help you break down the prophecy that much better. But I don't want to go too deep into this. Both of them nations not supposed to be over there. This is 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the later time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. You see, they going through all types of miseries. Them drone strikes, and it's killing a whole lot of them off. And hold on, I said I was going to go through all three of them. I'm not going to go through the Gaza city, but let's see what this Gaza genocide is about, because this is a part of the miseries that they're going through. Gaza genocide. The Gaza genocide is the ongoing international and systematic destruction of the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip, carried out by Israel during the Gaza War. It encompasses mass killings, deliberate starvation, infliction of serious bodily and mental harm, and prevention of births. Other acts include blockading, destroying civilian infrastructure, destroying healthcare facilities, killing healthcare workers and aid seekers, causing mass forced displacement, committing sexual violence, and destroying educational, religious, and cultural sites. That's why this man is known as the devil, because he did that to every nation he went and tried to take down, or he went and took down. This is why them Arabs is gonna come back together and fight against this devil. I'm gonna bring that out in just 1 second. Let me get a little bit more of this meat. He says the genocide has been recognized by a The genocide has been recognized by a United Nations Special Committee and Commission of Inquiry, the International Association of Genocide Scholars, multiple human rights groups, state governments, numerous genocide studies, and international law scholars and other experts. Right. So with the thing that's going on with Iran, and they're not Arabs, but they're under the Islam doctrine. They are Elamites according to the Bible. Their history go back to the Persians, Artaxerxes, King Darius, etc. They're going through this to a certain degree because of all the sanctions that were put on them by the USA. That's why they started making deals with other nations, you know. So let me get back to this precept. 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the later time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Right. They catching all types of hell. There's miseries unto them. You know, because of their pride, though. Their belief system. Their morals is all messed up. It's against the Bible. So the Lord is sending his sword. Esau is the sword of the Lord, man. And you know what happens when you got pride? Oh, is it Proverbs? That's Esau. for you. I might have missed it. I might have just kept on going past it. Hopefully, other than that, then you know how Esau is with his computer systems and shit. Because this is his technology, and Satan works through his technology. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18: Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before fall. Right. Proverbs 18 and 12: Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty or proud, and before honor is humility. These nations don't have the humility that the Lord is looking for. They just got pride. That's why they being taken out the way they've been taken out. See, their history with the Israelites, because the world was made for our sakes, and this story is really about us. Their history is having us in slavery and selling us to the Edomites, to the so-called white man, for wine, guns, dishes, dishware, you know, amongst other things. The book is called Slavery in the Arab World, so you shouldn't feel sorry for them. What they got going on is payback for what they have done to us, and that's just these are really the beginning stages. It's not going to really kick in the gear until the kingdom of heaven is established and we subjugate the world and all the heathen, and you know, live forever. This is going to be a forever thing, the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, so be looking out for that, man. The more and more the Lord take them out, the closer and closer we get to the kingdom of heaven. You know? 2 chapter 15, verse 1. Nope, I'm going to start at verse 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Right. So, the Lord is bringing the plague of death. Gaza going through the Gaza genocide. Bible prophecy. Esau is doing this as because this was a part of his plan to set them so-called Arabs, them Ishmaelites, versus the Christians, which is them Zionists, and which they're not totally Christian for real. But anyways, and that's gonna help them bring in the NWO, the New World Order. You know, so everything's going according to plan. With that being said, man, call law, how about you, Shai, about some crocodiles, about honest the elders and the apostles of the will. Salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Mu'ath Ball, Kwam Yasha Allah, and let the games continue and get worse, man. Shalom.